Today, we're going to discuss the question, what brought fear to people during the Salem Witch Trials? These trials occurred in the late 1600s, but people are still talking about them today. That is because so much went on that still can't really be explained. Fear is what escalated a lot of the situations of these witch accusations and led to executions. I want to dive into some of the main reasons that people felt so much fear during the trials. One main cause of fear was a belief in the supernatural. Salem was a town made up of mostly Puritans. Puritans believe in and follow God. The Salem witch crisis confirmed the reality and proximity of the invisible world of spirits. Puritan thought depended on a clear separation between the visible and invisible realms. With this new thought of closeness to spirits, the Puritans of Salem did not know how to react other than fear. Witches were then associated with the devil and other evil forces. Being associated with the devil was the last thing a Puritan wanted, so they needed to get rid of these witches. A huge cause of fear is the Devil's Book. This black book was something that many accused witches brought up in their testimonies during the trials. A woman would be visited by the devil and asked to make a covenant to give up her soul and body to him. In the Salem Witchcraft Papers, it is stated in Mary Barker's trial notes that she made a red mark in the Devil's Book with the forefinger of her left hand. After making this oath with the devil, she would then be instructed of who to hurt in exchange for either riches or a pardon on her sins from the devil. Again, this association with the devil sparked a lot of fear into the hearts of the Salem Puritans. The Puritans believed that by entering their names in a book tendered unto them, they associated themselves to destroy the kingdom of Jesus Christ. The color black even began to be associated with the devil in Salem, Massachusetts. The first woman accused of being a witch was Tituba, a slave of Samuel Parrish. In an article entitled Tituba, Black Witch of Salem, it is mentioned that Tituba's color was indicative of her close connections with Satan, and her color, defined as the sign of evil, then served as a sufficient ground to condemn her as dregs of hell and reduce her humanity. Salem was so scared of Tituba for her skin color that it reduced her value as a human being. Young women's bodies being afflicted by the witches in the Salem witch trials was another point of fear. The accusations made about witches usually began with an afflicted body. Common symptoms displayed by the Salem accusers included fits, bodily contortions, torturous pain in various body parts, being struck mute, and going into trances. These things that people were facing were foreign and struck a lot of fear into the people of Salem. Tituba was even accused of pinching, pricking, and grievously tormenting the children of her master. It was noted by John Hale in A Modest Inquiry into the Nature of Witchcraft that the children's bites and punch marks were impossible for the children to do themselves or for a natural disease to cause it. After the witches were confined in a prison, the person being afflicted by the witch would claim that the tortures would stop. With these bodily afflictions being unnatural and appearing to be caused by the witches, the people of Salem were very fearful of the accused witches. People were so afraid in these times that they were willing to do anything to make witchcraft go away. With God being such a focus in the everyday life of a Puritan, they saw witchcraft as a satanic act, constituting an unforgivable sin. Fear of witchcraft was part of their folklore and their high theology. Salem's fear of witchcraft and everything that went into it caused many to be executed and imprisoned during this time. The outcomes of the Salem witch trials really put Roosevelt's quote into perspective. The only thing we have to fear is fear itself.